you can. So, good evening, everybody. Good evening, Pintu, sir. Education is most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. Nelson Mandela quotes it. And today we are here to learn to improve our speaking. On behalf of ITM Business School Chennai, I welcome all the students, industrialists, faculties, and well-wishers to the webinar on how to aid impromptu speaking by Mr. Pintu. ITM Business School Chennai is one of the top business schools which has been ranked 23rd among the top business schools in India. The agenda of today's webinar will be introducing the speaker. Then the speaker will present for 30 to 40 minutes, followed by Q&A session for 20 minutes. I kindly request all the participants to raise your queries through the chat window along with your name and email ID. The speaker for the day, Mr. Pintu, will answer all the questions during the Q&A session. But if anything remains unanswered, we will email you within 2 days. Request all the participants to remain in mute for the entire session and also kindly send your feedback through the chat window. Today we have Mr. Pintu Cham Mahato, Divisional Director, Toastmasters International. He is a trainer in corporate grooming. He is currently working as Assistant Manager in HCL Technologies and he is also in faculty in ITM Business School Chennai. His hobby is public speaking. He is also professional host for event management and mentor to public speakers and leaders. Chinese proverb tells us, if you are planning for a year, sow rice. If you are planning for a decade, plant trees. If you are planning for a lifetime, educate people. Today we are here to educate us for our lifetime. Now over to Mr. Pintu.
Thank you very much, Ajita, for that wonderful introduction. And good evening, all. Hope I am loud and clear to one and all.
It's very clear.
Thank you for that acknowledgement. So, as of now, I can see it's by my watch, it's 4:12. Ajita, just give me a buzz at around when 20 to 25 minutes is over. Just kind of give a raise hand or something so that I can just take up the question.
Sure. We'll do that.
All right. How many participants do we have so far?
As of now, we have 46 participants.
46.
Yeah.
Good evening to all the 46 participants, young, old, agile, tired, lazy alike, because in this lockdown, we are more lazier, but our minds are still sharp enough to be aggressive and to be more focused to engage ourselves in such productive discussions. And ITM Business School has been doing a great job in introducing this concept of online webinars where they are bringing experts from variety, industry-wide people, experts, trainers, to keep the students and the followers of ITM group of institutions, into the array of knowledge sharing, also in terms of sharpening and sharing the experiences. I always feel happy whenever I have been asked to visit the ITM campus in Chennai to take sessions. And in this pandemic scenario, it is only fair that we conduct such online sessions to boost the students and also make them realize that come what may, the education, the knowledge, the thirst for it should not stop. So today, I will be taking a very, you can tell casual, but at the same time, it's very, very essential as you rise up in your life, in your corporate ladders, in your entrepreneurial journeys, or whichever industry you serve for. The art of impromptu speaking. Many people may have got it, but again, it is one of those jittery moments, whether I should say, whether I should not say, what should I say, what will I say to impress, whether the person will take my suggestion, whether the person will even give me time. All these questions lingers in our head and we kind of fail to utilize that opportunity where we got to impress, where we got to prove a point. And as they say, strike the iron when it is hot. You don't know. Opportunities are coming at your door and opportunities are coming to you in various forms. Are you alert to make sure that you have utilized it and make sure that you have grabbed it with both hands? And that is where impromptu speaking comes into play. Now, to understand what is impromptu speaking, it is the speech which is unprepared. It is a kind of a conversation which is unplanned at times. It is a mode of communication which may not have large stats, facts, figures, but the most important part is it gives a first impression to the other party that you are communicating. So as you all know, that the first impression makes or breaks the deal. So as managers, as entrepreneurs, as big leaders out in the market, when you all go out, you have to make that impression. And with these conversation, with these impromptu communication and mode of conversation, you can win the people. You can win deals. You can impress leaders, and you can also make your mark or have that name and fame that yes, you are given just 3 minutes to give your presentation, but you finished in 2 minutes 50 seconds, and you presented with such crisp and such input that all the panel members out there had a great impression about you. Not just about you, but the organization, the brand that you are representing. So, let us now try to go a bit deep into impromptu conversation and when all these requirements comes. Number one, you can have impromptu session with your family, with your friends, with colleagues, or with strangers. Now, in terms of family, given our age and given our experience a bit, whether we are modern or we are orthodox, we are always told that, no, we don't want your advice. We know things better than you. Often our parents or elders or somebody knowledgeable in the family, they kind of brush aside saying these statements. Whenever an important discussion is taking place and you feel you have some point of view, you have your perspective, or you want to engage a discussion with, these impromptu skills can help. How you will initiate that. So with family, even though they may like, they may not like, but you want to initiate a discussion, the impromptu speaking skills have to be there. You may be a bit shy, not just, girls. I have seen many boys when they have to talk to their family regarding a girl that they want to marry and they love, they are shy and they don't understand how to initiate a conversation with their dad or with their mom that, Mom, I love that girl and I really want to spend my entire life with her, and I think she's the best girl. You guys should talk to their parents, and that is how. So small conversations like this or serious conversations like, I failed in my exams and I am completely lost, I am completely devastated, I am completely stressed out. So situations and scenarios within families where you don't want to speak or when you don't feel how should I speak, that is where impromptu speaking skills help. We'll get into how to initiate the dialogue and the conversation. Then comes with friends. Now with friends we are a bit casual. With friends we generally don't have a problem in initiating any kind of a conversation or any kind of a debate, discussion for that matter. But again, in a business school or in a engineering college, medical college, what happens is we tend to be a bit conscious. we feel that what will be my impression if I initiate the discussion? What will be my, what will others think about me? Or whether this is the right thing or let it go like that. Let me not have that discussion. Whether it is for an important, rule that is coming into the college, or an important, seminar that is going to happen, or a workshop that is going to happen, or a fest that you want to be one of the organizers, but you are not able to, you know, tell, or it is there in your heart, but you don't have that words or have that urge, or even if you have that urge, you don't know how to tell it. So those scenarios can also come, and that impromptu speaking can help you bridge that and initiate a dialogue or a conversation. Now, the third is the colleagues. Now, that is something which every corporate, ask any corporate, even some of the faculties out here who have joined, they have certain things that they want to talk to or share with the top management, but they are not. They feel that whether that will be a good thing, whether that will create a good impression, or is it a stupid idea, or it will just, I'll be brushed aside telling you don't know anything, or you are such a senior staff and you're talking like this. So such things, kind of creates that, hesitation and that jittery feeling that we should talk, we should create a conversation, but these impromptu speaking skills will help you in those scenarios. That if you initiate the conversation in the right manner, in the right spirit, with meaningful dialogue, you will be heard. Not just be heard, your ideas will also be accepted. So, we understood family, friends, colleagues, strangers. In a bus, we are riding. On a road, we are walking. Or any given unknown place that you have gone, and we want to ask them or we want to interact with them, we are hesitant. No, 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 let me not ask. No, I will figure it out. I have Google Maps. I will see Google Maps, or I will somehow try to get it. Or my uncle knows it. I will call my uncle and get it. Whereas the knowledgeable person will be right in front of you. You have to just strike that conversation or start that dialogue, but you fail. You have that jittery feeling. You are not able to do that. So now we will be going into some of the aspects that how you can initiate an impromptu conversation. So that is where I will be now taking you across to certain aspects of impromptu speaking. Now, as a Toastmaster, I know that we have contests and championships in impromptu speaking where any random topic, anything is presented to us. And we got to justify, we got to present our views, opinions in just that 2 minutes. So what is that? We need to always have, or we need to train our brain in such a way that the impromptu conversation that I'll be presenting, or the points that I will be presenting, will be worthy enough that I will be the champion for that session, or I will be winning that discussion for that matter. So, some things you need to tune your brain. And how to tune your brain is if you constantly give in that practice. If you constantly engage yourself in debates, discussion, group discussions, and other social forums where you are allowed to present your views. I remember one of the sessions that I was taking in the campus where I had engaged the students, as I was the CEO of the company, and the students were the representatives from different brands and organizations, and they had to pitch in with their product, with their service, or they themselves as workforce people, that why I must hire them, or why I must trust the product or I can throw up any given challenge and they have to defend that. So that comes with a lot of tuning, as I was telling. So what are the tunings, or what are the things that you should keep in your mind or keep in your brain while doing an impromptu speaking? First thing, the first thing, understand the topic. When I tell understand the topic, it is the topic of the discussion, the nature of the conversation that you are going to tell. Topic or that theme is extremely important for you to collate your thoughts, for you to utilize a bit of the experience that you have got, bit of the learnings that you have got, a bit of the facts that you may have acquired for that topic. Now, topic can be anything. It can be as diverse as, will business analytics help us or help the industries in this pandemic situation? Or will the government's introduction of economic reforms sufficient enough to revive all the industry? Or it can be as simple as that. Your ambition that you had selected many years ago, are you on track? That can be as simple as that. It can be about you, it can be about an individual, it can be about the entire world, anything. So the thought process is that the topic which I was mentioning, the first point is the topic that you have to collate your thoughts. Now, how will you collate your thoughts? So the work begins well in advance. You have to start reading. Your reading habits should be diverse. I watch a lot of news. I read a lot of leadership articles, leadership books. In my LinkedIn, I have subscribed to global leaders. I get news feeds every now and then. I have Pinterest, which every now and then gives me pins with quotes, with stats, with facts, with new words in English, with vocabulary that enhances my conversation skills, my interactive skills. I have some mentors, who constantly give me those inputs and constantly bring in relevant topics to make me knowledgeable or make me realize that, oh yeah, that's the point. Oh yeah, that's the fact. Oh yes, this is also one perspective. So all these things, the reading habit, if you are not increasing, if you are not knowing, for an instance, I remember this, when I gave one of the presentations to the students there at food and beverage industry. Now, a group of students did present, beautiful slides, and they had presented facts and this. Now, when I started asking questions, some of them were a bit clueless because they may not have done enough research on that. So starting from the simple thing that any given topic, how much do you know? If you don't know, you can still bail yourself out with a very meaningful way, in a very meaningful way. So if you are given a topic which you have no knowledge about, you can very well participate in that impromptu discussion and tell that you can first acknowledge that, thank you for giving such a complex topic. Make it a bit humorous because you don't know anything about the topic, but still you have got to prove your point that your communication skills, your impromptu speaking skills, and your confidence at large is not at all shattered even when you get a topic which you know nothing about. So how to do that? So let me give a demonstration. You should tell that, thank you for that complex topic, and even though I have very limited knowledge about this topic or this subject, but I know for a fact that this has got something useful to serve humanity, to serve mankind. Otherwise, in a big forum or in such an important forum like this, this topic wouldn't have found its place. I'm pretty sure the persons who are the panelists, those who have selected this topic, know something very specific or are in the urge to know something more where they can utilize that information, where they can utilize that particular knowledge to implement in some of their resources or some of their deeds and actions. And even though I don't have any information about the topic, let me tell you that people, those who have it, will definitely present it. But I want to present it in a way which will ensure that my knowledge may not be sufficient. But given the knowledge training, given the source resources that I may feed upon after I have now known, I will come back with a very, very important theory, with a very, very important study material, or with a very good presentation to satisfy your queries or your knowledge for that matter. Again, you will thank them and bail yourself out. So I knew nothing. You give me a topic, anything in this entire world, even if you don't know, your confidence should not be shattered. Now that is something which I want all the participants to in this discussion, that never get shy with your confidence. You have gone to that platform to represent yourself, to represent not just yourself, you are also an institution for that matter. So don't shy away, even if you don't know. Now, as we grow away from the topic, we need to understand how much time we have got. We need to understand that how much sufficient we should present. This is where your research comes into play. If you read regularly, if you have followed, those relevant topics, then you will, start analyzing and take your moment and start collating your thoughts and think that, okay, let me go ahead and I have read about this. Let me put it this way. Let me organize this. First, I will give in about the person who had introduced this. Then I will talk about an event that has happened. And then maybe a stat, which I vaguely remember. And then I would like to conclude by telling that, yes, this is an important thing and this is something which is useful. So if you break your minutes, that is the time that I was telling about. So if you have got just 2 minutes, if you have got just 2.5 minutes, what are the things that you should say? In Toastmasters, we always have that power of 3. In a big speech, say in a 5 to 7 minute speech, we always include this power of 3. Now, what is this power of 3? We try to remember or relate to 3 incidents. It has to be one of them, 1 or 2 of them has to be a personal incident that will establish that credibility. So next time, whenever you are given in a topic and you want to participate in a discussion, if similar to that incident or the topic, something has happened in your life with your neighbors, with your parents, with your cousins, distant relatives, friends, bring out those experiences and empathize or relate to that topic. So the power of 3 again, where you tell at least 2 incidents which you have faced in your life. The third can be a reference from a historical event or a scientific research or any kind of a modern day example to a third party. Now, if you give these 3 valid points with your sheer confidence, and that is where this is the content part. Okay, this is the content part. The power of 3, having a specific opening, having a specific body, and then generalizing into a conclusion. That is how the structure of a speech that we all public speakers break down into. The opening body, which has to be really impressive, either a quote, either a humorous statement, or a readily available meme or a joke or an example, and then we kickstart going into the details of the body, and then finally we try to conclude giving a specific meaning. So that's the content part. So now coming into the delivery part, that is where, so again, getting back, you have just 2 minutes. You have just 2.5 minutes. So whether do you have those three? If you don't, if you have at least one, give more inputs to it. Emphasize on the core concept of it. Don't elaborate because you haven't got that much amount of time to elaborate. Stick, always have those bullet points that such incident has happened and these were the experiences that you inferred from that incident, and that's why you believe in such or a specific philosophy or a specific statement. Okay, so start breaking down when you are doing your analysis in your brain, when you got that impromptu topic or you want to participate, break them down into the incidents that may have happened, or you can relate that topic to specific incidents, and then those bullet points that okay, these incidents, these inferences. What is my opinion about it? I believe in this. All right. Do I have a stat related to this topic? I'll bring in a stat. Do I have a quote or an important leader that may have mentioned about this topic? I'll bring in that, and then I will present the message that I want to deliver and conclude it very efficiently. That has to be the way of this entire impromptu conversation. Now, I want to also bring in something called the prep. We all go into these sales presentations and meetings where we have to represent our brand, and the clients or the other things, they may be arrogant or they are testing. Either of this can happen. They may test you and they may tell, just I don't have your time. I don't have my time. My time is precious. I give you 2 minutes. If you are able to do it, well and good. Otherwise, the door is open. Straight away, up to your mouth, and before even you digest, oh my God, this person was so rude. Whatever 10 slides I had to present, I don't know how will I handle. The 10 slides will at least take for me 15 minutes to 20 minutes. And this man is giving me just 2 minutes. Now what to do on such crunch situation? That is where your impromptu speaking skills will come into play. You will now focus on that one important slide. So this is a homework that I want to give you all the participants, those who have tuned in. Next time, when you are presenting, you have been asked to give a presentation, you have been asked to do a study or a research, do that extensive study. And after you have completed that, the next day or maybe a week later, collate the entire 20 slides, 25 slides, 15 slides, whatever, into one slide. Can you do that? That's a homework for each one of you who is listening to me. Now, if you succeed in making that entire, the core concept that you will be, putting it in one slide, that is your impromptu speech. You will only speak. Now, that scenario where the client gave that particular sales representative just 2 minutes and he had 10 slides and he thought he'll be given 30 minutes. That one slide he or she has to focus and present it. And that is where I introduced to you there's something called PREP. P-R-E-P. What is P? The first P stands for the point. What is the specific point that you have come to deliver? What is that? What is it that you want to, pitch? The second is the reason, the R. What is the reason that you find that the client should listen to your point? That reason that you have to present it. The E is giving them examples where they might have failed or where they might have not ventured into, and you have a service for it, you have a tool for it, you have an app for it that you are presenting for increasing their brand visibility, for increasing their growth in a specific sector. And the last P is the concluding point that relates to the first point that you had brought. So point, reason, example, and the concluding point is what is prep. If you follow this prep technique for an impromptu speaking, I'm pretty sure once you start engaging and engrossing yourself in such dialogues, and let me bring a bit into Toastmasters perspective also, that if you participate in table topics every week, every day, parallelly now, as I'm giving the session, I'm having two Toastmasters meeting that is happening over WebEx and Microsoft Teams. So participate in such table topics session where you will be given, you will sharpen your skills in impromptu speaking. You will be given just 2 minutes. The timer will time you. There's a person, there's a grammarian that is recording. There is a R counter who only takes a note of your you know all those clutches, all those unwanted fog horns, pauses. So that is only going to help you sharpen. And in that 2 minutes, remember, when you go through all this journey, this practice, that 2 minutes, you will be easily able to finish your pitch in 1 minute 50 seconds, and you will still present a strong case for your organization that you are representing. So follow this prep technique, and I'm pretty sure it is going to help you. The other thing, when it comes to such conversations or dialogues where you have to choose either side, and you have to choose either PM Modi is greatest or PM Modi is not greatest, kind of. When you have a scenario when you have to choose yes or no kind of a thing. To be the best in such conversations, you should always go for the pros and cons method. That is yet another, concept. Thank you, Ajita, for giving me the buzz. So that is the pros and the cons method is something which you need to analyze. So you have to quickly list out that, all right, this is the topic. I have to either choose a yes or a no. What are the pros? What do you think that the good points, or what are the cons that are there? And then present your case. And let the deciding authority pick whatever but you as an individual utilize that opportunity not to step back and no, I'm neutral. I've seen many individuals telling I'm neutral, I have no opinion, no comment. Just like ministers like Vijay Kant and all those, no comment. Just like that. Very you have been given that opportunity. Come on, go ahead, engage. So that is where you have to shine. And I'm pretty sure this pros and cons and the prep method, if you use, you will succeed. Let me now take up queries, and let me now bring up the question and answers. Ajita has put it in the group.
Thank you, Pintu. I'll go with the questions. We have Samuel. He's asking, what are other ways to learn different accents of English to compete in corporate field?
Good question. This is a burning question which every fresher or every employee who joins in an organization, and he or she has a challenge in that English communication. He or she may be good in English, but again, while interacting with clients, the accent is what we are so conscious that to tell that, all right, ladies and gentlemen, let me bring into you the presentation that I've got. In telling the simple sentence in that accent, we forget that, oh, what was the point? I have to again look into the slide. And then we are finding which word I can pronounce in that accent, and then that will impress the audience. Now, this is, let me tell you, this is just a myth. Okay, this is just a myth. The Americans, the UK, and the Western countries, they understand that we have got an US accent. And let me tell you, all those big houses operating from US have got our own Indian employees, our own Tamil employees who are big, operating engineers, big CEOs and CEOs out there working. So they understand that. It is just that it's our mindset that we sometimes are too conscious of. What I have done, what I have understood by interacting with a lot of US clients, I have always worked with US clients, they make it very clear. We tend to sometimes speak fast. Now, if we speak clearly and tell and make simple sentences, our message should get conveyed to them. Yeah, how convincingly it is getting, how, with your body language, with your gestures, with the confidence, that is something which you have to work upon. But in terms of accent, If you are using simple sentences, if you are clear, loud, and clear enough, your message gets passed on. Have your Indian accent only. Yeah, I have seen, now that I brought the accent part, many Tamil, we have this Tamil accent of dragging and ending with the or, kind of a this thing. That I think when you start conversating in English throughout, that gets minimized. You can mask it. There is strategies. I can groom, and that is what I do to many of the leaders. I remember a Tamil. I remember one of my HCL employees. He was in Chicago signing a business deal for HCL, and he had this tremendous, heavy Tamil accent, and he was not sure that, though he had very technically he was very well educated, but then I just gave him a few tips, and I just asked him to end the sentences without tail drops or without thinking of the next line just before even finishing the first sentence, so that the sentences are simple and not complex. He started masking that. So there are ways which you can mask. So accent doesn't play major role. It is the message that you want to convey. Next question.
Okay, thank you. We have a question from Gulshan sir. He's asking, what are the major challenges faced by almost everyone is on the spot presentation? And reason behind this is also known thinking in native language, brain converting it in English language and then speaking it out. With that said, we witness a lag of few seconds between each word and sentence spoken. How to overcome these challenges?
Excellent. And this is a prime example of we thinking in our native language, whether it's Hindi, Tamil, Bengali, or any other language, and then literally not translating, first transliterating them and then translating and then producing it in English. So that creates that lag. So the brain will take its time to process. Now, that is where, regular habits of participating in table topics, participating in impromptu discussion, and all the MBA schools for that matter are doing a fantastic job in making sure that the students are engaging themselves. And I extremely vouch for, contests, and every month there has to be, certain, tests to test, to, check how equipped they are becoming as individuals, whether they are still thinking, because this is a continuous process. It cannot happen in a one given day, in one session. That individual has to start thinking in English. That's the seed that I want to leave, or I want to tell you guys. If you start now, there comes a scenario, interesting thing that happened to me only. Before, as I was starting my professional career, I used to get dreams in English. Would you believe that? I'm dreaming as if I'm talking in English to one of my childhood friends. With him, I don't even speak in English. I just speak in Bengali or in Hindi. I abuse him in Bengali, but my abuses were also coming out in English. So this pattern, if you think that I have to think in English, then that lag comes. The second thing, as a practice, what you can start doing is you should introduce some of the key phrases. Now, these phrases, to cover that lag from that thought process translating from native language to English, you should use phrases like, I have this belief of. Now in this, and you have to tell it slow, you can tell it fast. These are the tips how you can mask. Well, I believe, and I have this opinion about the point that you have presented. The moment you tell that, then by that time you have translated already in English, and then start. So phrases, I firmly believe. Statistics show. Let me bring you out an example. Let me show something very specific. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you something very unique. An example that has happened in my life. Now, all these things, why I was telling, I was only thinking that what those examples will be. What was those things that I'm going to tell? Because that are getting translated from my native language to English language. So those phrases, if you start writing down, I give this homework to everybody. Start writing these phrases And in Pinterest, you will have such, boxes and the boards which will give you, use in impromptu conversation. So those phrases, if you start learning them and utilizing them, that's a great way to mask that lag of beginners. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. We have a question from a person known as Shilpa Savior. She's asking how to act with the technical topic during a general group discussion with the people from same technical background.
Okay. Okay. Same technical background. Great. Now, I will just write this. Remember, Shilpa, what I told you, the prep technique. Now, I am pretty sure you won't go unprepared. Though your preparation may be not that voluminous, but your preparation may be by going into one article that you may have got, or maybe a couple of references that you may have read. So your preparation or your vast study may be limited, whereas other competitors, those who have come in the group discussion on the technical symposium or discussion, they may have, some of them may have done vast studies. Some is a geek, you ask him any question, formula, he will just spill it out like anything. But Shilpa, you can still beat that person. You can still beat that person. Where? Now comes the delivery. I was talking about content. If you have to beat that geek, if you have to beat that strongly technically advanced person in that discussion, it's only through your delivery that you'll be beating. Don't go ahead and try to challenge him or her on the technical part. Don't go ahead. How can you tell that? How can you're only giving him more visibility, more footage, as you tell, by asking him that. Because he will prove it and he will smash you. You have to only beat him or her is how you deliver it. And how you deliver it, your gestures, your confidence. You may just tell for 1 minute. Your case or your knowledge, you may just tell for 1 minute. But the way you tell, the conviction that you have, and the confidence that you portray, that I completely, and that you have to show your acknowledgement. GD is not about pushing that person about away. GD is about how you are also open to acknowledge that I respect the knowledge and I am really flabbergasted by how technically advanced Mr. X is on this particular topic. But I have just 3 points to make. And you will touch the human aspect. In technical rounds, how you win the battles is when you touch the human aspect. What is human aspect? Whether that particular technology is going to impact human lives in general, whether that particular formula or whatever case is going to be beneficial for the company, the organization, whether the sales, on whether as an individual, as an organization, their brand, their vision and mission is altered or changed or is upheld with that or not. You have to target on those lines. And I'm pretty sure whoever is the panelist trying to see, will see that, wow, Shilpa understands our vision and mission. Shilpa understands the human aspect of it. Now you'll be considered.
Thank you, sir. We have a question from Mukesh. He's asking, sir, as a HR fresher, the most toughest job is firing an employee. Could you give us some tips how to initiate such discussion in an organization?
Mukesh, first of all, I've been following you. You're following me in LinkedIn. So congratulations on doing so many certifications sitting back home. So you are investing the time in the right way. So first of all, good job on that. Now coming back to the question, since you are, you have been engaging yourself in a lot of the HR forums and discussions, what I understand. Now, as a fresher, as a beginner, I would give you a tip. Listen and observe. What's the best quality in an HR? The best HR or the best panel of HR, they just listen and just try to find out how much the eye movement is taking place, how much they're referring to the notes, how much they're doing like this, how much they're doing like this, how much they're scratching their head, how much they're confused, or how much they're confident, how much they want to interact, how much they want to engage, how much josh they have, and how much knowledge they have. So listen and observe. First basic skill set in an HR should be this, and target them accordingly. Use their phrases, whichever resources that you are trying to engage, interview, or get an idea, or employ skills that you are trying to portray, or have the employees listen to you. You have to listen to them and accordingly act on that. I will always also like to know in specific what you want to target. I can take that definitely offline. Send me which specific area you had a challenge tackling that, and I will help you on that.
Okay, Mukesh has to message only, then we'll know what is the
Yeah, yeah.
until he messages, I'll go with the next question. It is from, again, Gulshan sir is asking, what is the role of grooming and attire in overall confidence and personality development? Should one try to imitate American accent, or a good spoken English with correct grammar and pronunciation having national accent is good to be followed? I hope there is no shame in not copying American or British accent. I hope this you have answered. Okay, the initial question was, what is the role of grooming and attire in overall confidence and personality development?
I am a strong believer in the grooming, and that is where I love, engaging, or I love interacting. I love getting it straight into the heads of each and every, whether it's an engineering graduate, whether it's an MBA graduate, or any leader for that matter. Your first impression. Remember, I was telling about the first impression. Your first impression, the first 20 seconds when your client looks at you from top to bottom, should get that confidence that, oh, he's the man, let's listen to him. Or she's the lady, I am pretty sure she has come up with some great preparation. So that first impression of that grooming, today, even in this lockdown, I had to get myself ready for this presentation. So even I just did my hair, a friend of mine came and helped me out to just groom it out and set things up. So you have to be ready. When that's an important deal, that's an important meeting, that's an important online interview that you're giving, and you are not groomed enough, you are not in a good attire, that doesn't give a right impression. Though you're at your home at an online in a session, but still that feel should come. That he looks like a gentleman. Wow, what a great personality. These phrases should come. So corporate grooming, I have taken sessions. I promise to visit as many campuses as possible to touch upon this corporate grooming. It is elongated the session that I always do, and I love to get in depth. The second part of it, yes, correct grammar is what is absolutely required. Use simple sentences, use your accent. There is absolutely no shame, first of all, in copying, because you are not disrespecting them. Let me tell it straight. You are not disrespecting them. So there is no shame in copying the accent, but don't do it just for that sake. Just for that sake. If you want to really adapt the American accent or the Westerner accent, do it completely. Don't just, use that accent only for that meeting. That will only help you, because that will establish your credibility. Suppose now on this online presentation they heard is, all right, so I was speaking in the American accent and you had given me a fantastic present. I was highly impressed. And the other day when the client visits, hello sir, how are you sir? Good morning sir. You are back to your. So if you are doing it, do it completely. That is what I would have to say.
Thank you, sir. We have a question from Jainul Shabura, and she's asking, good afternoon. Being a student, I feel really comfortable to open up with people of my age group in public. When it comes to professors or higher officials, in spite of having a good accent and knowledge, I have a shiver or some crick in my voice. How can I overcome this?
What was the name? I missed the name.
Her name was Jainul Shabura.
Janul, I'm guessing Janul is a male person. I'm sorry if I'm not able to get whatever. But again, a very important question that yes, and that's why I told families, friends, colleagues, strangers. So with friends you are absolutely comfortable, but when it comes to elders, when it comes to professors or senior management, we do have that tendency to not to talk or why to go ahead and talk. What will the so understand this, my friend. You also want to grow. You also want to shine. You don't want to be that. So along with you, there could be another 50, 60 students in your organization or in your institution. Everybody wants to be the best. How are you portraying yourself? The basic question that I ask you, you have joined the college not just to gain the theoretical knowledge that will be taught to you. You have also joined to be more practical, to be more proficient. And that will only come if you step. And I want to bring into picture one very important quote that I always believe in. You never know the depth of a swimming pool unless you step into it. What's the harm? Go ahead and initiate a conversation with your professor. The professor may not be very, friendly or not so. You just go ahead and wish and tell that, sir, I saw you yesterday in the Marina Mall. So I believe, it is a good time, and I saw your family also. Your family, your kid is cute, and all those. Whatever, strike a conversation, and you should tell that, sir. The other day, the lecture that you gave, I forgot to tell you. It was a really fantastic, and it was an eye-opening session for me. Definitely, sir. I would look to learn more from you. So create that curiosity in that professor. That, what happened? Who is this fellow? Why is that person suddenly? So give that conviction that yes, you really like that. You really, want to engage or learn more from the professor, or maybe, get that knowledge transfer or get some tips and tricks how to, scale up on that particular subject matter. So unless in Hindi, there is a proper saying that आप पूछेंगे नहीं तो हम बताएंगे नहीं. If you don't ask, I will not tell. So who has asked you not to ask? Please go ahead and ask. So I'm pretty sure you strike a conversation, general topic, general thing, any random thing. Start and then go to the main thing that you wanted to convey to that professor or to that official.
Thank you. We have a question from Srihari Suresh. He's asking, like, one of the most common problem faced while speaking is anxiety. How can I reduce it?
As I told, start doing this. I would invite you to, you can just type Toastmasters clubs and maybe join a Toastmaster club for that matter. Because I understand in colleges, even though focus is given more on the syllabus and here and there some of the grooming skills, but it's actually when you do it with a specific purpose. So unless you start those conversations, unless you participate in table topics, the anxiety will still be there. Anxiety will still be there. Anxiety can only be lessened, and anxiety will only be kept into control. It's still there. It will be there. I will not be able to eliminate it no matter how much, but you will be able to overcome that. One basic thing that I would tell you is that, remember I gave you an example that even if you don't know a single thing about that particular topic, still you can portray your confidence. Your confidence is with you, gentlemen. That nobody can shatter. So go ahead and very humbly, very meticulously, in simple way, with a positive attitude, present and tell and stand for that 1 minute at least to portray your confidence. So anxiety will be there, but don't show that anxious. That will only, give those cross that, okay, we should not select this, we should not. He was anxious, he was trembling. So that trembling will go away only if you participate, if you, do table topics regularly. Maybe in your college, have this everyday activity or every week activity, a 1 hour session or something where, you are given a topic and you have to speak. Even if you are not able to speak, why you were not able to? Let us have further in-depth analysis that what were the problems, what was going in your mind. I can come and do a workshop at your place and make it do whenever the lockdown ends for that matter. But yeah, you can control it. Trust me.
Thank you. We have a question from Sam who's asking, like, is it important to have research before having a public speaking? And your tips on research to improve answers.
So this is a more generic thing which you have asked. When you know which party you are going to present, when you know which client you are going to face, absolutely, research is must. But remember I told you, you will be turned upside down by telling that no, I have got no time. And the entire 15 to 20 slides or 10 slides that you have prepared, they may ask you to just tell what do you want. That is where your one slide will only have. So have that just one slide ready so that you can cover up the core message of that. So research is important. At the same time, delivery and that that confidence obviously you would be carrying. That is why you have been asked by the organization to represent yourself to the client. So that is very, very important. Research is important. But what happens if you are given in a scenario where you are asked something out of context? That is where your maturity of handling such situations come into play. And that is what I would also like to tell you. And one of my mentors also emphasizes that win the relationship, not the deal. If you go with this mindset, know that you're not going there just to win that deal, you're going there to win the relationship. Tomorrow that person may not sign you or may not give you that project at all, but at least he will have your contact. He will know you as a person who came, who met, and who did present a very good case, but because of other reasons they couldn't strike a deal with you, but you have built a relationship. So do not come out with a sad face that no, you are not. You have made a good friend, you have made a good colleague, you have met a good person in life. So win the relationship, even if you face, even if you fail to win the deal on that day. You may be called again 2 years down the line to present your case. So always win the relationship. Thank you.
Thank you. We have Sejal who has asked, like, hello, sir, how to really analyze whether the person whom you are speaking with is satisfied or not, because his or her decision matters to us.
Sajal, I'm pretty sure you are also doing some online certifications. I have been seeing, so good job on that. Now, I always believe in philosophy of the rest. Fal ki chinta jo hai should be there, but to get anxiety or to get sad or really stress out because of that, present your best case. That is in your hand. But what the other person has thought, what the other person will be the outcome, don't stress yourself on that. The other thing is that before ending the conversation or before closing the discussion, you can definitely you will be definitely given that liberty to ask these two questions that I would like to get a feedback about my presentation as an individual. Now that time you will be talking about an individual, not about a brand or an institution that you are representing. You may ask that, well, it was a productive discussion. Thank you very much for your time. Before we end this, may I ask you that how do you feel me as an individual? What were my best points that you were impressed, or some of the points which you may not or may feel that I need to improve? So this is one open and an honest feedback question that you can ask. The second thing is, even if that opportunity is not there live, come back, shoot out an email, with the discussions and with the highlights of the meeting. Praise or give some of the points that you learned from interacting with that particular individual, and then certainly ask that I would like to get a feedback about my presentation and whether I'm on the right track, because you're not pushing him to tell me I was the best or not. You'd only ask that whether I'm on the right track and am I, doing good and going up into or entering into the foray of, the best sales managers or the best representatives of an organization. So that honest feedback can help. Secondly, the other thing can be you should have mentors. You should talk to your mentors. You should have that prep talk or that prep mode discussions with your mentors, and they will be able to give you honest and apt feedback about your presentation.
Thank you. We have Asha Shakaram. He's asking, like, sir, there is a potential point in every topic that we present and convey. up to the audience. If you agree with this potential point, then please let me know how to identify that particular point which would justify the whole topic.
Hmm. That's right. Remember, I told you about the person in a specific group discussion. One person has got all the technical facts, formulas up front. He's a geek. You cannot beat him. Whereas you, as an individual, you have a potential point. You have a valid logic, though you don't have a full-fledged formula or a proven mechanism, but you have that logic or that potential point. Now, with this only, you can build a thought in your client's mind or in the whoever is the panelist out there. Again, your delivery pattern will matter. You have to acknowledge that whatever being said and done, whatever being agreed upon, the logical point that you have, the potential that you have or you want to tell, bring it out that and then segregate it into the vision and mission of that particular institution. Trust me, every panel head, HR or client for that matter, they strictly follow their vision and mission. And if you somehow relate that potential point to their vision and mission, no, you'll be heard. So relate to that angle, their mission, and all those things. If you relate, I'm pretty sure you'll be heard, and you'll be given that opportunity. Okay, we are listening. Sounds like a good point. Yeah, that is a potential point. They will agree. They will definitely acknowledge. So go ahead. Don't shy out. And you come out of the meeting. Oh, I had a potential point. I could not. Unless you tell, how will they consider? Unless you align them with their goals and unless you align them with their mission, how will they actually lend their ears? So please go ahead and tell them and relate to that.
Thank you. We have a question from Danusha. I almost answered the question, I suppose, but I would like to read as she has asked. Sir, can you give some tips to control our shivering when we speak to others?
Very good. Very good topic. I would definitely, shivering is something which is natural. If you're not shivering, which means you don't have nerves in your body. So, but again, what are the ways you can control your shivering? First thing, if you know a point, you should always start these habits. And if you practice this, now this is the lockdown period, take up any random topics from the internet, from LinkedIn, from other, sites, and start speaking on that. And what is now like this, see, like this is shivering. This will only become this. This will only become this. This will only become this, and this will only become this. So this shivering only stabilizes. So this only stabilizes and becomes, when you're confident, when you're sure, when you're apt, this is what it will become. It will not, do like, okay. Your legs may shiver. I remember, when hands and this thing, your knees sometimes kind of, shiver. But don't get too conscious about that. That is natural. Any public speaker, that's natural. That has happened for me also. I'm only able to overcome that by regularly giving speeches, regularly taking sessions, regularly communicating in the language that I want to communicate. I've gained that, vocabulary so that I don't think upon, oh my God, I've forgotten that part. Oh my God, I've forgotten. Even though if I've forgotten, I've developed that mindset that I will be able to touch into the other point if point A has not been told or I forgot point A completely. So don't let the others know that you have missed the point. That's the trick. If you learn that trick, balle. The shivering will only become balle.
We have almost finished all the questions which has been asked by our students. And you asked Jainul whether she's a girl or boy. She has answered that she's a girl.
Okay.
She wants to let you know. And I have at the last, I have a session. I have a question with you. Like you have told about shivering. Everything is fine. Standing in front of the mirror, everything is fine. I'm asking you, like, is there any app or is there any tool that, now as we are going with online and everything, that would improve our skills, like English speaking skills without any mistakes. So that like I can talk to somebody, somebody could correct me. Is there any app like that that would help the students to
We
improve?
are, we are already on one app which is helping us connect. Tomorrow, what I will do, I will give you one topic and I'll bring in 10 more strangers in that same forum. 1 week down the line, I tell you, you will be a confident person in any random topic for that. Impromptu, the beauty of impromptu skills is you get any topic, you have one point at least to relate to it. And the prep thing that I told you, you just implement that, you'll definitely be able to strike your balance. At least you'll be able to come out with that friend that, no, I didn't come out without even speaking, or I didn't come out without even presenting at least one case or one incident relating to that topic. So only if you do it regularly. There's app as such I don't believe in. App is only the platform for us to connect. The more you connect with us, with everybody for that matter, the more communication you have, I'm pretty sure you'll be able to ace that. And Toastmasters again, I always vouch for it. If you have time, if you have that energy, you should join a Toastmasters club. And all the clubs are now meeting online over Zoom, over WebEx, over Microsoft Teams, where I'm just sitting and I would like to what I can see. Suppose how many participants we are having right now? About
Right, there are 38.
yeah, 30 plus whatever it is. So I will randomly pick anybody for that matter. I may pick Janul, for that matter. I may pick Sejal for that matter, and I'll give you a topic right now. Are they ready? The question is that. So let us try to have such forums, and ITM themselves can. I know that the classes are not on, or exams and other things have been also taken a different shape altogether. But this can be a small test. This can be just a behavioral exercise for all the students. That bring in a 1 hour session where table topics will be considered, impromptu topics will be given. I will pick up the random person, let them go ahead and stand and speak. So, that will only help them. Sejal is ready. Sejal wants to. Sejal, I promise, we will have a separate session maybe where impromptu speaking skills or table topics will give and we'll ask you to present.
Sure, sir. It will be
Sure,
great.
sure. Thank you so much. The session was very informative and very interesting. We are getting fabulous comments from the participants, and Gulshan sir has also told like thank you so much for enlightening and energizing the session. You were too good in your presentation of the topic. Topic was very apt, and you are a charismatic person who knows how to bind the audience and everything. And people are giving their comments as very informative. Thank you, sir. We were able to get your answers, and all the students who have got their answers, they have also thanked you, telling that it was very good. And uh, uh, based on the demand from the
We'll
audience,
have.
one day we'll
We'll
have
have.
the online session where practically we'll also do the topics and everything and give a feedback to them. Thank you. It was very informative. You spoke very well and told us how to speak, how to speak uniquely and identify, get impressed by others, how to start thinking in English. And you also told very clearly introducing special phrases that will reduce the lag between the sentences. And prep technique was fantastic. The importance of delivery in the content, and you told very clearly how we should do research, content, and delivery. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for being with us for this 1 hour. On behalf of ITM Business School, I thank you so much. I thank also the attendees who have today attended. And the Q&A session was fantastic only because of the attendees. Your questions were fabulous. You made very good questions, very valuable questions, which would be very useful for you as well as for us, for all the students. It was very awesome. Thank you so much. If any, I hope all your questions have been answered. If you want any of your very particular questions to be asked to Pintu sir, please do give your questions. We'll send you the mail ID. You can send it and we'll give it to sir and give back the answer.
I'm in LinkedIn, Pintu Champ Mahato. People can follow me. And definitely, as Gulshan sir has proposed, would like to come back with an online session testing all you guys for table topics and impromptu speaking. Let's have it.
Thank you, sir. And I thank all the organizing people who have been very active in arranging this webinar. And kindly give all of you, I request all of you to kindly give your feedbacks in the chat window. Good luck to all of you. We appreciate your support. Please do join us in tomorrow's webinar. Tomorrow's webinar is on how COVID is changing the way of hiring by Shrivas Anandaraman. I'll give you the link. Please do register also. Thank you so much. Meet you tomorrow by 4 p.m. Thank you so much.
Cheers.